Hello and welcome back to National Geographic's Dragonology. I am dragonologist Dr. Ernest Drake, here to document dragons. Today we will be following 3 species. The Royal Egyptian Imperial, the Roman Guardian in Italy's capital, and last but not least the Shimada Skydancer of Japan. First here, we have found the Royal Egyptian Imperial in its natural habitat. They're often secluded creatures and do not travel outside of Egypt. Adolescents and hatchlings go through stages of color as they become adults and usually start dark in color with reflective metallic scales. Fledglings, adolescents, and hatchlings go through color cycles as they grow and mold their scales. This species is almost always gold and black due to their reflective scales being constantly exposed to sunlight in the desert. As the Royal Egyptian Imperial gets older, it goes through a stage of reflective goldenrod scales. Once they begin reaching maturity, the color cycles begin to become farther apart until golden scales are grown and the cycles stop. Royal Egyptian Imperials are all born with glyphs and circuits that illuminate at night or when they breathe fire. Unlike royals, the common variant of Egyptian Imperials lack these glyphs. Their skin is also lighter in color to blend with the desert sands and do not have reflective scales. Their temperament around humans varies from curiosity to indifference. However, for the Royal Egyptian Imperial, it depends on the age of the dragon and whether they've encountered humans at all, since they live isolated in the desert and often migrate from Egypt to the Sahara in Africa. It is advised to be cautious around Royal Egyptian Imperials because they are far more unpredictable. King Egyptian Imperials live solitary lives until they find a mate, unlike Queen Egyptian Imperials that live around Bedouins and nomads. Let us travel next to Italy, precisely in the Colosseum of Rome, where a Roman guardian has taken up residence in the ancient ruins. This particular male comes from an ancient lineage tracing all the way back to Roman ancestors during the Empire. Roman guardians are some of the oldest species of dragons. There is a modern variation descended from this species, the Italian guardian. However, although descendants are viewed as subspecies that developed to adapt to modern times, Roman guardians, although fewer in number compared to the Italian guardian, still thrive in Italy, often hanging around historical sites that they've inhabited for thousands of years. The Colosseum in Rome has the oldest male of Roman guardians to date. He is thought to be sired by Appius Atlanticus himself, whom is recorded to have interacted with important Roman figures and rulers, the likes of Julius Caesar and Alexander the Great. Atlas obtained his name because he seemed to hold the world and was the largest of his species. It was speculated that Atlas was likely a king Roman guardian, as well as likely being the only royal Roman guardian to have existed. He often traveled and assisted in wars to defend the empire before dying 100 years or so after the fall of the Roman Empire. This species is often sandy or tawny colored to blend in with the sand and stone of their surroundings. They're usually very tolerant of human residents and tourists, taking it upon themselves to preserve historic sites. Their fire is known to melt rock into molten lava. They're also known to burrow under sand when they hunt and dig tunnels travel from their nest or dens to higher ground. Next we travel to Hanamura, Japan, where there is a small concentration of the Shimada Skydancer, one of the rarest species of dragon in Japan. They have bloodlines dating back to the Sengoku, Edo, and Meiji Restoration period of Japan. I'm keeping my distance as we observe this species. Shimada Skydancers are highly territorial and protective of family as they live in groups called troops. The largest troop of Shimada Skydancers were discovered here in Hanamura, with members scouting out to keep order and have been known to assault and kill outsiders. It is unusual for a Shimada skydancer to live on their own, unless leaving to make a new troop or live in pairs. Most Shimada skydancers vary in shades of blue and green, however it has been observed that lone Shimada skydancers is darker in color, ranging in shades of black, red, and steel combinations. It is currently unknown if this is a direct relative or subspecies of Shimada skydancers. Loners like this male in the distance are volatile and far more aggressive than those living in troops. It is advised that if one does encounter a lone outsider to keep a safe distance like I am now, and avoid provoking it. Leave them alone or you will risk severe injury and death. Most provoked assaults are fatal.